Hello everyone, and welcome to a bit of a different type of video. Today I will be reviewing Zenith the Last City and its current state 1 week after the official launch. Quickly, I wanted to just say that these are my opinions, purely based on my 20 hours of gameplay since its release. I'm not basing this on any other videos and or reviews, and this is purely what I have witnessed and taken in from the game thus far. This is my very first time making a review for anything, so I apologize if it isn't up to standard. I'm going to structure this by starting with pros, then moving into cons, then my summary, and final score. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Pros. Questing. Questing in the game is really enjoyable. It seems like there are always side quests, main quests, and just quests to complete over time to do. Most of them are your basic kill these things, get these items, but it's been an enjoyable experience usually. Honestly, I just wish they had more group quests in the early game available. Events. The events have been very fun and enjoyable as well. There are these red markers that will show up on your map here and there, and when you go to these markers, an event will either be starting or currently happening. These events will vary from having to kill all the enemies in time to having to defend a point. And after completing said event, you will get XP and the item for that area, which you can then use for crafting and stuff. The community aspect of it has also been great. Usually people are grinding them out for XP or items to craft better gear, so in more populated servers you will get groups of people helping you out, and it's always a fun experience. Dungeons. So I don't really have a lot to say about the dungeons in this game, as there is only one dungeon you will go through in your first 20 hours of gameplay, so I will only speak in regards to said dungeon. The dungeon is located in the starting area just behind the big mountain in the middle. It's filled with 4 types of mobs: the Exiled, Ezreal, the Naga, and Ixil, the boss. It's an open dungeon, so anyone can walk in and start fighting, and it's a bit of a maze. I found rushing the dungeon with like 10 different people to be genuinely so fun. Everyone just slashing at enemies who aren't the easiest to take down, and then killing the boss together. One thing I was scared of was not being able to get loot or XP. But as long as you get a hit or two in, you are able to get the same amount of as anyone else. All in all, this is a great first dungeon. There's always something to do. I'll make this point quick, as I'm basically talking about all there is to do in your first 20 hours. There is genuinely a lot to do for a first release. Dungeons, quests, events, weapon crafting and upgrading, cooking, socializing, I mean the list goes on and on. You can tell they really want to pack this game with as much content as possible, and I'm here for it. Gear crafting. Throughout the areas of the game, there will be these machines that allow you to craft armor and weapons with currency and dropped items. This gear is usually better than any gear you can get from drops, and while it is a bit of a grind, it is usually worth doing if you are going to be in that area for a while. Each terminal will have uncommon gear, then 2 levels above that, unique gear, if I'm not mistaken. Then you can upgrade said gear to make it stronger, which leads me to my next point. Gear upgrading. Also throughout the map, you will find these other terminals you can use to upgrade armor and weapons. You use enhancement dust and currency to upgrade things, and the only way I believe to get enhancement dust is drops from chests and by destroying gear and getting the dust from that. It's another reason to use your extra gear you don't need than just selling or getting rid of it. Combat. The combat, albeit hard to grip at first, is extremely fun and intuitive once you get the hang of it. I've only personally used Blade Master, and it's genuinely been so fun. The fact you can block, power up your blade, then release a finishing blow, it makes you feel like you're in a straight up anime. There are different skills and ways to move your sword that will determine what skill you use. For example, moving your sword vertically will release an attack that does a certain amount of damage, while moving it horizontally will cast an AoE attack that does less, but also heals you for a bit. It's really interesting, and I've never played a VR game with abilities and weapons being used like this before. Flying. Flying is extremely unique and fun, if you have it on strafe or sensitive. I personally use strafe, and you can get so much speed by tilting your hands forward and backward and Batmaning that shit. They should honestly have it on strafe to begin with, because the original flying mechanic isn't that good. Cooking. I haven't done much cooking, so I'll keep this brief. Throughout the world you can gather food, plants, etc. and use them in your cooking station. You can do quests that will allow you to unlock more recipes, and then use the food you craft for buffs and such later on. The cooking feels fun and intuitive. For example, in one recipe you have to cut up 2 oranges, then place milk in the pot and start cooking. When you start, You have to move this dial with the outline or it'll be worse quality. Some recipes you have to do this while also constantly frying something in a pan. It can become a lot at once, but if you get the hang of it, it can be good fun. The community. The community has been nothing but nice, helpful, and extremely non-toxic, which is a lovely surprise. People have ranged in age from 10 to 40 years old. It's a very diverse community, yet still have only had good experiences. You can go up to anyone around the same level as you and ask for help, and they will usually be down to get you past wherever you're stuck at. All around, it's a great community, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Tiers. The tiers in the game are what you use to get more stamina. You go to the statue just south of the starting area and accept the quest to bring her tears. Throughout the world, you can find these tears hidden in the most random places, and I find this so much fun to do. I think it's a great side quest to do over time with a great return. A big pro in my book. The world is massive. There is so much to explore here, it's unbelievable. I've been playing this game for about 20 hours now, and I've barely gotten through the beginning area. Maybe 1/8 of the map? And it's extremely beautiful. I mean, the areas feel lively and there are mobs everywhere, so you don't just hit dull areas randomly. The climbing really helps with the exploration aspect as well. The fact that you can just climb anywhere and everywhere makes traversing the map that much more fun. All in all, the map is great, and I can't wait to see what endgame areas look like. Last but not least, the devs. The devs are a huge pro in my book. I haven't heard of them before Zenith, but so far I've seen nothing but good things. They have already released multiple patches and shared future development of a new class, Cyber Ninja. They really want to make this game something for both them and us to really enjoy and love. And you gotta appreciate that. Cons. The story. In my opinion, the story is extremely lackluster. Maybe it's the way it's told, maybe it's the start that's slow. Whatever it is, I just can't get into it. I'm still going to read through and try to enjoy it, but I find myself getting more lost in the gameplay and side quests than the actual story. I just wish it was a bit more interesting, or maybe gave me something to really fight for. Give me something to care about. I don't know. What do you guys think? Quests. While quests are a pro, they also have their problems. Like a lot of quests, mainly side quests, just aren't intuitive enough or aren't explained in the best way. And when you go to look at the quest in your menus, it doesn't even show the original quest dialogue, just what to do. And with multiple quests, I found myself looking up what the hell to do. It shouldn't be that difficult, but that doesn't mean all quests are like this. Most quests have been alright and easy to find. It's pretty 50-50, I would say. Character creation. The character creation is absolutely horrific. I hope they do more with it in the future. Right now though, there are like 7 different heads you can choose and a male or female body. All the heads look pretty much the exact same and the skin colors just don't work for me. I wanted to match my skin IRL, but the light skin options all look like they have a bad tan. All around, it needs some heavy work, and it's a big con for me. Classes. Even though they are making a new Cyber Ninja class, I wish they had just a bit more variety when it came to the classes. Right now, there are only 2 classes, Blade Master and the Mage. I was really expecting to see at least a Sword and Shield, which would have been sick to use in VR. But even as a tank, you can only use 2 swords, and honestly, I found that really disappointing. Hopefully in the future they add the ability to use a shield as a Blade Master or something. The map. The map is pretty bad. The icons always overlay and it doesn't always show you where quests or quest objectives are. One example, if I try to click on a fast travel icon, I have to spam it because there are always other icons layering it. So it glitches out and you can't use it instantly. Or some quests don't even show me where to go even though it should. All around, it needs a bit of TLC. Not a big deal, but still a con in my book. Glitches. There are lots of glitches right now. For example, fly and speed hacking, falling through the map, old main quests will show up and you can do them, some quests just don't show up on the map or in world even though they should, changing the name of a guild kicks everyone else out, the world disappears in random areas, just to name a few. It's a bit of a mess, but I have faith that the devs will patch a whole lot of bugs and within a couple of months the game will be much better. Things aren't always explained properly. This has been a main problem a lot of the player base has complained about. There's been a lot of situations where I've been pretty confused myself because the game just didn't explain something properly. For example, how to use skills and weapons properly or how to craft gear and upgrade gear. I had to get those things taught by other players because I had no idea what I was doing. Even the settings aren't very intuitive enough, and I find myself getting lost quite frequently in them. All in all, these are simple problems that can easily be fixed in the future and doesn't ruin the experience at all. It just needs some work is all. The beater gear. Alright, so this is a personal problem that I'm going to talk about. Is it really a con? Maybe not, but it pissed me off. So in the Discord, you can refer people with a personal link and eventually get the beater gear, based off Kirito's iconic Sword Art Online outfit. Everything is fine all the way up until you get into the game. Now, maybe I've missed it, maybe not, but not once do they explain how to get it in-game, and I think that's because you can't unless you make an entire new character. So if you do the referral system and get the gear, don't expect to get it on your current character until they fix that into the game. Sorry, but I just had to get that out of me. Summary. The game is extremely fun and has so much already to offer. I've been playing a few hours each day for about a week and I feel like I barely scratched the surface. There is clearly a grind, and being an MMO enjoyer myself, I absolutely love it. I enjoy everything I've been able to do and will continue to get to the story and grind my way to level 40. I 100% recommend you get into the game now before the devs stack tons of extra content on our backs. It's an MMO at the end of the day. It's a grind, and if you like the type of thing, you will love it in VR. It's clearly the best VR MMO on the market right now, and you should definitely buy it if it's your cup of tea. My final score, 7 out of 10. Gives me no reason to give any lower of a score. Does it have problems? Yes, but the devs seem very adamant about fixing said problems and making this the best VR MMO of all time. I believe in this game and look forward to getting through the game and seeing endgame content. I will make another video in the future on the endgame content if you guys enjoyed this one. Again, this was my opinion and my view over the 20-ish hours of gameplay I've had the luxury of enjoying. Did I miss any points? Maybe there are some pros and cons you disagree with? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye now.